Cause Biden's left the old guard way behind. One prompt, one clip, and the epi is gone. Tom Cruise in a cage match until the break of dawn. They call it an assault, they call it a theft, because there's nothing of the studio system left. SAG-AFTRA's crying over likeness and rights, while the servers are humming through the Beijing night. Biden and Spencer Lee, they made them agree. They already showed the world what the future's gonna be. The filters are coming, the walls are going up, but the poison is already in the Hollywood cup. Seed and the Titan is awake. How much of your art can the machine take? Biden ins force them to make a fucking move, while the old school's stuck in a digital groove. Fuck the red carpet, fuck the gate. The disruptor is here and it's already late. Who wins the war? Who owns the screen? The biggest fucking battle that you've ever seen. Disney sent the letters, yeah, the cease and desist, but you can't kill a ghost with a fucking fist. CapCut is coming for the global crown, while the Hollywood hills are burning to the ground. They say it's unauthorized, they say it's unfair, but the pixels are dancing in the digital air. They pledged to fix, yeah, they promised a filter, but the whole damn industry is off its kilter. But they can't with crown. They bent the key as the ship went down. Who's in control? Who's got the code? Biden's just reboot the entire road. Get fucked! Seed ends, the Titan is awake. How much of your art can the machine take? Biden ins force them to make a fucking move, while the old school's stuck in a digital groove. Fuck the red carpet, fuck the gate. The disruptor is here and it's already late. Who wins the war? Who owns the screen? The biggest fucking battle that you've ever seen. Yeah! Hollywood's losing. The code is the king. CDS 2.0. The battle has just begun.
We need to build more data centers. AI needs it.
To cure cancer, right?
Well, I fucked that one up. God damn it. All right, hold up. I was trying to do something funny, and it didn't work. So let me just come over here and show you all this. All right, this is one of the funniest things I've seen in a minute. I didn't know it had sound. I heard it. I saw it initially without sound. I thought it was pretty good. So here.
We need to build more data centers. AI needs it.
To cure cancer, right? We're curing cancer. Right?
We need to build more data centers.
I maybe shouldn't laugh at that as much as I did, but god damn it, I did. God fucking damn it, I did. Holy goddamn, folks. What a week. It's Monday. It's President's Day. I guess it's a holiday. My normal day off of work, so nothing really changed, although I did go out and I bought myself a new PC today. So that's sitting in a box here in the room. I'm going to be putting it together after I stream tonight. Figured I didn't have enough time before going live to, get it, install everything, hook everything up, get all my programs the way that I want them, and then go from there. But obviously, yeah, we're dealing with a bit of an interesting time right now. Yeah, those are some big old titties. Thank you for the new PC. Yes, I'm going to absolutely be e-begging like a motherfucker to cover it. So there's that. But got in time here for Jarbo's mess up. Thank you, Spherical Man. I did it for you because your name is Damien. I did it all for you, Damien. All for you. Except hand jobs. I don't do that for you. I'm sorry. Hold on here. We got ourselves a $10 super chat kicking off the week, man. Thank you so much, Rational. says here, Orson Welles wrote, directed, and starred in the film Citizen Kane at 23. God, he was only 23? Jesus. It's fascinating how someone that young was able to create a masterpiece. Welles himself thought it was a mid-film. I mean, you know what? The thing is, it did different things at the time, right? Different camera techniques, the way that they told the story, you know, like what Rosebud was, that, you know, all of that stuff, right? The mystery of it, the setup, the characters, you know, the fact that really Citizen Kane was, you know, largely based on William Randolph Hearst, if I recall correctly, you know, and everything about the whole, you know, like get me the pictures and I'll give you a war sort of thing. Whatever it was that, you know, Hearst did by sending off that guy to cover a fake war so he could sell newspapers. You know, there's a lot there with Citizen Kane that is just tied into early media, you know, especially in this country, and how corrupt it is and how corrupt, you know, it was back then, which is really funny because all these years later, it's still pretty goddamn corrupt, you know? And so I think he told a really good story, right? Citizen Kane is fine, but Casablanca's perfect. Well, yeah. Yeah, no one's going to argue against that, dude. Fucking, you know, Casablanca is Casa awesome. Gotta love it there. Spherical Man here says, went to go see Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. Definitely a fun movie. If I had the time or the funds, I would turn around and cut the next showing and looking forward to the sequels. Not, well, I don't know if we're going to get sequels. I don't know if that one did very well this weekend, you know, and in everything. I don't quite know if I got to go back and look to see where that landed. You know, but let me take a look here. How did it do? How did it do this week? All right. Wuthering Heights opened to 30 what was it? 33,038 total gross. I guess I'll just bring this up on screen because I guess that's what I'm doing now is box office conversations and shit. Let's see here. All right. So we got Wuthering Heights. We got Goat coming in number 2. Total weekend gross of $35 million, right there underneath Wuthering Heights. And it didn't have the IMAX, right? Wuthering Heights had the IMAX. Can you believe that? A movie. I mean, I haven't seen Wuthering Heights. I guess my question becomes, do we get to see Margot Robbie's tits? If the answer is yes, then I think it might be worth checking out. I only say that because she recently had a child. Therefore, post-birth boobs are usually slightly bigger. Okay, it's just an anatomical thing, not a perverse thing. Okay, 2 things can exist simultaneously, but I'm talking about this for science. Then, of course, you got Crime 101, which, by the way, based on a novella, as I found out. Still need to see that one. Heard it was good. Send Help is really holding on strong. You know, 49 million domestic on like a $20 million movie is not bad. It's been out for 3 weeks now. Solo Mio, Kevin James out there in Italy. And here's no, not this movie. I'm thinking of another film. Zootopia 2 is still there, and Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die, $4.2 million opening weekend. You know, even Avatar, Fire and Ash, barely lost out by $200,000. So, you know, and look at Iron Lung there, holding in strong. And then Dracula. Luc Besson's Dracula, which I've heard good things about, but also that it's gay. Is that true? Am I hearing true things on the internet about Dracula? I've heard it's quite gay. Like, I mean, like Dracula himself is gay. I don't know if that's true or not. That's what I've heard. It's not going to stop me from watching a Luc Besson movie. You know what I mean? Like, I watched Interview with the Vampire. Okay. Like, I can handle gay vampires. It's not even an issue. That's just what I've heard. So, you know, I mean, good luck. Have Fun, Don't Die will also probably be on streaming very soon, which is probably where a lot of people are going to go and see it. But, you know, but that's okay. That's okay. At least there's a lot of stuff out there. Hold on. It's a pervert thing. No, there's not. Don't put words in my mouth. Put titties in my mouth. What? I didn't say that. There's no in between, and now embrace the dark side. Let them titties flow through you. Yeah, there you go. Go out there and support Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. It's totally worth it. Remember, folks, Gore Verbinski thinks that AI is drinking its own piss. So there you have it. I definitely want to see it. Gore Verbinski, I do enjoy as a filmmaker. Sam Rockwell is great. The cast looks amazing. The movie looks fun. But as always, it's just, gonna be difficult to get to the theaters as much as I would like. Is 4XD worth it? No. No, you will never hear me ever, and I mean this ever in a million years, advocate for any kind of 4XD, D-Box, ScreenX, any of that shit. You will never, ever, ever hear me advocate for that. Like IMAX for certain movies, okay? Because I'm not against, I'm not against larger premium format. Okay, but I want it to matter. I want it to mean something. The only way I would go see a movie in like 4XD is if there was a blowjob machine attached to it, just because then at least I feel like getting my money's worth, right? Pump me dry to I don't know, repopulate a country with low birth rates. I don't give a shit. But it's just like, that's where I'm at with it. I'm so fucking against it. I'm just absolutely against it. And it's not even a curmudgeonly thing. It's just like, I don't like the gimmicks. Yeah, I'm tired of the fucking gimmicks. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just so tired of Hollywood doing these damn gimmicks rather than focusing on the actual stories. Like, there's no one to blame for where we are right now than the industry itself. There is literally no one to blame. But like for where things are with fucking Netflix and streaming dominating overall, with the dwindling box office attendees, all that shit has everything to do with the industry itself not trying to do something engaging. They just keep putting out the same stuff. And a lot of people like myself will just wait. Spherical Man here says, I would say that the movie is like Terminator mashed up with Edge of Tomorrow. There's an anti-AI bent to it, but the message is that AI is already here and we won't be able to fight it. Well, that sounds kind of pedantic. Isn't that a wee bit, kind of a minuscule bit pedantic? Right? Hey guys, the AI is here. We can't do shit. Roll credits. Okay. One of the things I did see, though, about Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die is the fact that the movie starts off real strong and then, like, the back half of the film turns into some, like, anti-technology rant sort of thing. And I have no idea how true that is. Again, I'll watch it eventually. But currently these days I'm working on other things. Otis here, thank you, says, I'm going to blame Ryan Jansen and Zack Snyder for dividing fandoms. That hurts the box office too. I'm going to disagree with you about that. I am going to disagree with you about that. Now, do I feel like both men have played up their sides a little bit too much? The answer to that is an unequivocal duh. Yeah, they have. But they're also just people with their opinions. Okay. They're just people with their opinions. All right. And as much as I would like it if these like celebrities would come out and like try to, temper the flames a little bit, I think they also deep down know there ain't shit they can fucking do. There ain't shit they can do. There's not a goddamn thing they're going to be able to do because it's just going to aid into the shit. You know what I mean? Let's see here. Yeah, there are onion headline levels of absurdities to the way science is going. Like, what do you mean? Okay, real quick here. I want to touch on Otis. I want to touch on the Zach trolling thing. If you're talking about Instagram, Zach is currently getting ready to take his movie, The Last Photograph, and try to get it bought by a distributor. A big part of that nowadays is they want social media interaction. They want large followings on social media platforms. Vero is not what you would call a stream social media platform. Zach already has a really prominent Twitter feed, okay, but he up until recently didn't have an Instagram. So he's on Instagram and he's showcasing old pictures, trying to get people to go over there and check it out. So then he can sit there and tell the market, whoever's going to be maybe potentially wanting to buy and distribute the movie, is that, he's doing it so he has that marketability, right? For some reason, these companies, they really fucking lie on that shit. All right. There's just so much going on with that. Zach needs to tell his fandom to calm the fuck down. At this point, dude, his fandom ain't as bad as you might think. I'm going to go on. Here's the thing. Does the Snyder fandom suck at times? Yeah. Like they blow goats. Okay. Like they blow goats. Like they blow them They fucking fondle the balls. They drink it all down. Every fucking slurp of it, they take it all in. Okay. There's no denying that. One of the things I have seen on Twitter recently, and this has been going on for a while, really, really ever since like the Superman movie came out, is that every time someone on Twitter goes like, I like Zack Snyder, they get bombarded by all of these people, and they're probably all bots because that's how the fandom wars happen these days, by saying Zack Snyder sucks. Zack Snyder's a shitty director. Zack Snyder ruined DC Comics, ruined DC comic films, right? Zack Snyder did this. Zack Snyder did that. What'd he do? Did he like rape your mother, then defile the corpse? Like, what the fuck is happening here? You know, like the dude did a job. He did a movie 5 years ago. We got the Snyder cut. Yeah, 5 years in a month. 5 years. 5 years, guys. Okay. He's made like 3 movies since then. 4 movies, 3 of them have come out. Well, I mean, really just 2, one really big one. Okay. And he's done a couple animated shows and shit, right? Like we only really got to see Twilight of the Gods. But there's this like contingent of like now people that are like, James Gunn's in charge of DC. So they love that James Gunn's in charge of DC. Despite the fact that like, you know, again, like DC, I would call in a better place than they were before, but I wouldn't call them in a good place. You know, Superman did well, but it's what you would call a modest success. It's not what you would call a blockbuster. In no way would it be considered a blockbuster. In no way would it be considered anything other than a modest success. A success to modest success. Okay. Right? Like the movie did well. It made some money. Not as much as they wanted and not necessarily enough to justify everything else. That is why the Batman scares the shit out of them. Because the Batman is guaranteed to pull in more money than Superman. It doesn't fucking matter if it's the DCU Batman or if it's Matt Reeves' Batman. By the way, the two should be the same. It's still going to pull in more fucking money. It's absolutely going to do that. Okay, so how is that going to look if the face of the new DCU is Supes and here comes the Dark Knight and he just blows his ass out the water with the version of the character that's not even connected to where they're going. So, and that's where it gets confusing for the fucking audience. And that's where we're going to see a real test of things. I could be wrong. I could be right. I think I'm right. Supergirl will definitely do okay, but it won't do Superman numbers. Right. And now they're saying, oh, well, we've got, you know, there's rumors coming out now that the Man of Steel himself, Supes, is going to cape his way into this movie like 3 times. Now, if you're having a Supergirl story, especially one that is modeling itself after Woman of Tomorrow, and it's all about Kara and her dealing with her demons and all that shit, and in the 3 acts of the movie, you have to cameo Superman to keep audiences engaged, because let's be fair, that's kind of why it's happening. Now, all of a sudden, you're kind of in that territory of, well, is David Corn Sweat Superman going to appear in every thing that goes on with DC? Now, probably not the TV side of things, because everything with that is rated R, right? Peacemaker Season 2, Creature Commandos, Lanterns, as far as I understand it. Nathan Fillion has made a comment about how he swore a lot in the show for what he's in it. So obviously that one is going to be, again, rated M for mature. And that seems to be the case with all the shows that are going to fucking HBO Max. They're all rated M for mature for right now until Netflix gets a hold of them. And then once Netflix gets a hold of them, that will probably change a little bit, because they're going to want to diversify to get more people in to watch this stuff. But that's going to be kind of weird. So, you know. Well, no, but okay, dude. Those were from different companies and everybody knew it. Days of Future Past was a continuation of not only the X-Men 2000s, but the First Class movies. Everyone knew that. Winter Soldier was a continuation of, you know, Captain America's journey, leading us in, you know, towards the first, you know, what was it, post Avengers, right? There was no connection. There was no way for them to be connected. Nobody expected them to be connected. Nobody. Okay. In fact, it was Sony and Fox who worked together to cross promote their films because they wanted to make sure that they could still make some money after Winter Soldier came out. But when you've got Batman owned by Warner Brothers, and you've got Superman owned by Warner Brothers, and you're trying to build a Superman connected universe with the DCU, and your other flagship character, in fact, the flagship character of your studio, not Superman, not at all Superman. He's up there. He's like number 2. Actually, I'd argue he's number 3. Batman. No, he's number 4. Batman, Joker, Harley Quinn, Supes. And even Joker and Harley Quinn can alternate. But Supes is not number 1 or number 2, hands down. Like again, Superman, just in the world that we live in now, it does not matter. You know what I mean? And call me cynical, call me nihilistic, whatever. I'm down with that. I say this not because I think the character is boring. I do, but that's not the point. The point is that people don't want to see somebody right now come on out and be like, gee golly shucks, you guys, let's just talk it all through. All right. You want to see some dude come in with the fucking anger and fury of 1,000 angry gods. All right. You want to see somebody come on in and just punch the fuck out of Nazis, beat the shit out of fascists, pull the hearts out of some motherfucking evil Epstein filing motherfuckers. That's what people want to see. I'm not even kidding you when I say this. There's a motherfucking bloodlust that is brewing in this goddamn country, and giving us a character that's all fucking, gee golly, my underwear's on the outside so you can't see me bleed, you know, is just the dumb, it's not gonna fucking fly in the long term. I'm not saying the movie was bad. I liked the movie. I liked the character in the movie. I enjoyed what I saw. I will watch more. But I'm telling you right now, man, people are getting fed the fuck up with the status quo. And Superman represents the status quo. He always has. And if you stop for a second and put your big boy pants on and think about the character again, I'm going to arrest you and take you to jail only for you to get out of jail and do it all over again. At least Batman breaks some fucking limbs in the process. Limbs can heal to be rebroken. Superman's like, gee golly, you guys, you stole an apple, off to jail with you. When he could murk fucking everybody. You know, he could come in and lay the fucking smack down. People like that shit. Anyway. Again, I'm sure Peacemaker Season 3 might be brewing. I don't think so. I think we'll see Peacemaker and Man of Tomorrow. But I don't think we're going to get a Peacemaker Season 3. So, Joker and Harley took major hits. Joker took major. Well, I mean, that movie did. But I would argue that, like, the first one, you know. Still. Let's see. Matt's correct. Superman only really works as part of a cinematic universe when there are other superpowered villains and heroes. Yeah, exactly. Because you can't just have, like, you know, him versus Lex Luthor. Oh, you're bringing in the Brainiac. Okay, well, you know, we'll see how that goes. Again, it will probably be a lot of fun. But Batman Part 2 is going to make a lot more money. After the Penguin? Fuck, bro. Hell yeah. People want Batman Part 2. Why is that? Because it's dark, it's brooding, it's interesting. Fuck off, Spherical Man. I know what you're going to say. The Pattinson did a good job. The aspect of the movie was good. The aesthetics of the film were great. The cinematography was wonderful. The acting was amazing. It felt dark and dirty and grimy and gritty and everything you want in fucking Gotham. Superman felt flat compared to fucking Dark Knight. And that is a cinematography thing right there. There is no way to put the fucking, not the Dark Knight, it's fucking the Batman. There's no way you can take the Batman and put it against Superman and be like, these movies look similar. They don't, right? But that also, Greg Fraser captured the grittiness of the world that him and Matt Reeves were creating. Whereas I forget the name of the guy that did it for fucking Superman, but he also did it for the Flash. And it was, not great. You know what? Here's the thing, man. I don't trust a single goddamn word you say. Period. Not a word. You can sit there and be like, I find it to be boring. It doesn't matter. You, like, come on, man. At this point, we know. Joker 2 should have never been. That I agree with. That I absolutely agree with her. H Bart's here for $5, buddy. Thank you. Gunn should end Reeves' universe. Also, why can't you criticize Gunn? Well, I mean, that's the thing. To some people, you can't criticize Gunn. Okay. To some people, you're biased. You're ill-informed, or whatever the fuck it is, right? Like, that's the thing I always laugh at the most. Is like, James Gunn is a fantastic filmmaker. I have sung his praises for years. I took hits upon hits upon hits in 2018 when I fucking defended him. I took hits, bro. All right? And that's fine, because I knew deep down that guy is not a pedophile. He just says edgy shit. A lot of us on the internet say edgy shit. It's part of being on the internet. That's all it was. Okay, but you can still sit there and criticize aspects of what he does, his filmmaking, his storytelling techniques. I did not think that Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 was anywhere near as good as Volume 1 or Volume 3. The first movie is amazing. It's like fucking pitch perfect. It's a great intro. Number 2 tried too hard. He leaned a little bit too much into his, to the music aesthetic of it, which I get, but it didn't really work for me. Guardians 3 was more a rocket movie. And he was able to really tell some compelling stories with those characters. The Suicide Squad was a lot of fun. All right. I really enjoy what he was able to do with Bloodsport, as well as it's Bloodsport, right? That was the character Idris Elba played. It wasn't Bloodshot. Right? Is it Bloodsport? I forget. It doesn't matter. Right? But Polka Dot Man was great. Ratcatcher was great. He was able to bring out the humanity. Look what he did with fucking Peacemaker. Turned Peacemaker into a household name and shit. The guy knows how to work with underdog characters and give them what they need. He can't do it with Superman. He can't do it. That's the biggest thing. He's really fucking hurt himself on that one. And that's why everything else around that is edgy and dark and fucking sexual and all that shit. Right? If you noticed everything else, because that's the wheelhouse he wants to fucking play in. And that wheelhouse is more closely associated to Matt Reeves than I think those guys want to give it credit for, which is why it's probably going to happen at some point. But I don't know. I could be wrong. Also, H-Bar's here for 5. Thank you, buddy. He says, Peacemaker Season 2 was good, but that ending was the drizzling shits. The ending is meant to tie into where things go next, right? It's kind of like, it's one of those things where you're watching a movie and like the hero gets what he wants, right? He saves the day, he saves the world, he gets the girl, life is good, life is grand, life is awesome. But you can't end on that note, can you? Because you got to leave the audience wanting fucking more. And that boils down to take all of it away. Because when you strip all of that away, now what did you do? You made him the underdog again. You make him the underdog again, you have the ability to build him back up. Which is exactly the fucking point. Like, you guys may not like my takes on movies, but understand that everything I comment on, for the most part, is usually about the story. Because I like that shit. And I like telling stories. Well, here's the thing. Totaling Wolf, it's not that Todd Phillips can't make a sequel. I think in the case, I mean, look, The Hangover Part 2 and 3. Hangover Part 2 was just like an edgier, grimier remake of the first movie, which to me stood to kind of exemplify the old adage of those who don't learn from the past are doomed to repeat it. And those guys never learned. Number 3 was weird. I liked it, though. Joker 2, still haven't seen it because I just have never cared. I think Joker 1 told a full, complete story that did not need anything more. Joker 2, from my understanding of it, what has been conveyed to me is that the movie was by and large heavily about a condemnation of fandom. It was more or less like holding a mirror up to the crazier elements of the Joker fandom and calling them names. Right? That's the vibe that was given to me, which I think is interesting, but is not going to win you any friends, any favors, or any fucking accolades. So they spent a lot of money to tell the audience more or less to go fuck themselves. And that in and of itself is rather brilliant, right? Rather brilliant. But I would rather see Todd Phillips go back to the stuff like Old School or Road Trip or the first Hangover. Lean into the comedy. Be edgy, right? Lean into that Gen X boomer humor that you are at in your life right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, make a movie about, like, you know, the fucking perils of testicular cancer and the humor we find as we lose our balls. Something along those lines. You better off not seeing Joker 2. It just undoes all of Joker. Yeah, basically, more or less. Yeah. Yeah. Do I think James should let Patty Jenkins direct? God, no. No. God, oh, no. No. I don't think Patty Jenkins should touch anything superhero-wise. Holy shit. Hell fucking no. Look, man, Patty Jenkins, you want to say all the shit, oh my God, fucking Superman killed Zod. Oh man, Batman fucked those dudes up in that warehouse. Holy shit. Patty Jenkins and the powers that be at fucking Warner Brothers let Wonder Woman rape a guy. Now, granted, I don't think any guy out there that would sit there and deny that, to be fair. You know what I mean? Like, I saw a lot of guys that were like, yeah, but like, if it was me, I told her to do it. Hell yeah, man. I'd fucking let Gal Gadot ride me like that. I don't care if I was awake or not. No, bullshit. You want to be awake for that guy. If you're going to fuck Gal Gadot, you want to be awake for that. What the heck's wrong with you? But the idea there about because she's hot, they'd let her do it is like really indicative of some fucking deep-rooted fucking psychosis shit. You know? Or my favorite was when that happened and you had Pinoche going out there and saying like, it wasn't rape, you guys. Oh no, it was rape, you pastor. Is that what you, is that, do you console your, any parents that come to you about potential sexual assault that they've experienced and been like, well, they were probably asking for it. I agree with you that I think, and this is where I know people get mad at me for this. I do think Zack Snyder ghost directed Wonder Woman. I do. The action scenes were definitely done by him and his team. Those action scenes were not done by her. If you go and you watch the Snyder cut of Justice League and you watch that opening scene with Wonder Woman in the bank fighting the terrorists and shit, that is the same action that we saw in Wonder Woman. That is not by accident. That is by design. So yeah, I believe Zack Snyder ghost directed like most of Wonder Woman until whatever the fuck happened with the third act of that film. So the fact that they used Blue Monday in the marketing but not in the movie, the fact that there was no 80s music in the movie, yeah. I know, right? I know. Don't even get me started about Wonder Woman 1984. Talk about a fucking mess of a movie. You know, Pedro Pascal was wasted. Like it was just, my God. I just can't, you guys. Yeah, Zach is very good at action. Yeah, dude, go watch the fucking director's cut of Rebel Moon. Hell yeah. Action's fucking tight. Anthony here says, Wonder Woman 84 is the biggest piece of shit ever. Yeah, it's up there, man. It's up there. I don't like to call movies bad. I like to find the good in movies. I couldn't really find a lot of good in that film. Kristen Wiig was entirely miscast as Cheetah. Although she looked sexy as hell in that movie. Gal, like the whole thing with like the one kid, Pedro's kid, right? Maxwell Lord's son. And he's like wandering around like the desolated DC. Dad. Right. And then like Marine One like lands him. And, even though he's already admitted to basically like being a criminal and that he's not the president, and like Marine One lands him down like in this random field in DC, and then out of the forest comes his kid. Dad, son, Dad, oh my God, what are the odds? What are the fucking odds? Or my favorite thing there of like, you can undo a wish by just taking back your wish. I ever tell you guys my pitch for that movie? Right? To show how Steve Trevor was alive. I had a pitch after we saw the first trailer. After we knew Steve Trevor was alive. There was rumors that Ezra was going to end up popping up in the film, right? And I thought, here's how you do it. Here's the pitch. Okay, so it takes place after the events of the Snyder Cut, okay, or of Justice League, and like Gal is like, Barry had already had his adventures. He'd already the whole thing with Iris and everything else, losing his mom. And he doesn't, he's thinking about that. And he's like, I don't want he sees Wonder Woman, he sees Diana, and she's just upset. And he's like, I'm going to fix this, right? He's like, I'm going to fix this. So he knows that Steve Trevor dies in the plane explosion. Okay. So he uses the Speed Force. He goes back to World War I, to that exact moment, races up. Okay. Right. Like more or less is able to get Steve out of the plane as it explodes. Okay. And then he Speed Forces him through, but then he gets knocked out by the Dark Flash or whatever, the Zoom or one of the, Reverse Flash, whatever the fuck, right? Something in the Speed Force nudges him and just pushes him out. And him and Steve Trevor land in 1984. So they went from 1919, I think, right? Or whenever it was, around that time to 1984. So we're talking goddamn near 60 years in the future. So now, Steve Trevor would have already been dead. Diana would have already lived her life at that point. And she's lonely. And then now you can bring Steve Trevor into it, right? You could bring him into 1984 that way. And honestly, that idea makes way more sense than a fucking monkey paw. It was 1980. What? I said it was 1990. What? 19? What? No. What the fucking? Didn't World War I end in 1920 or some shit like that? Whatever. I said World War I. Eat shit. Okay. Wonder Woman, literally the R letter to Steve Trevor was someone else's body. Yeah. Exactly. It was just she fucking she raped a dude. She fucking raped a homie. And at the end of the movie, that's still at the end of the movie, they rub that in sexual assault survivors' faces. If you think about that, right? Because what's the last scene of Wonder Woman 1984? The last scene of that movie is her out there, and she meets the guy that she fucked, right? But she doesn't know that it's him, but we, the audience, know that it's him. That's fucking wild. I thought World War I ended in 1920. All right, fine. Fuck you. Whatever, dude. I was off by 2 years. Eat shit. All right. No, it was not. No. It was not. No, that's not true at all. Once Wonder Woman wished for Trevor to come back, that body no longer belonged to the original owner. It was basically like the conscious soul of the original owner never existed. See, the thing with that is, though, but that's not ever explicitly explained in the movie. And that also means that Steve Trevor wasn't looking like Steve Trevor. The whole time, it was that dude, that face, that body. She saw Steve Trevor. It wasn't the other way around. Which means that, that guy is going to be like, why am I all of a sudden wanted for stealing a jet? All right. No, it wasn't like the consciousness got transferred. That was never fucking explained. She raped a guy. All right. I don't think there's any defense you can really make for that. It's you can't do it. You just can't fucking do it. Sorry. I know you want to try to get a point on that one. I ain't going to let you. Ain't going to let you on that one there, buddy. So I guess Wonder Woman 3 was supposed to be a team up with Linda Carter. Yeah. Cause they had that whole thing at the end of the film. Was her name Ancestria, whatever the fuck it was? Incestria? I don't know. I don't know what goes on there in the fucking Amazonians and shit. I did see though their report, and I don't know how true it is, about the Amazonian Game of Thrones show that James Gunn wanted to do, that he announced, 3 years ago. And there's been no movement on it. Is probably not going to happen. Right. You guys got to remember that 3 years ago when James Gunn made that Gods and Monsters announcement, that was mostly done for the shareholders of Warner Brothers Discovery, who were in still their first year of it being a new company. Now it's a little bit different. Can Doctor Strange use the mind wipe spell to make everyone forget Wonder Woman 84? Yeah, I'd be okay with that. I don't know how you could have an Amazonian show on a budget of $10 million per episode. I mean, no, you could do $10 million an episode. I mean, Game of Thrones initially, the first, most of the seasons, I think the first 6 seasons of the show roughly had a budget of $6 million an episode. It's entirely doable. The problem with a lot of these shows is that, they kind of become victims of their own success. But I think if you would have had titties and shit. If you would have gotten Stephen DeKnight, the guy who created Spartacus, to come over and handle the Amazonian show, I think you'd be okay. Except, he's doing the House of Asher over there on Stars, which is just like an alt history version of Spartacus. Like, what if Asher survived? I don't care. Go have him fucking get down Gannicus, bitch. All right, Gannicus was alive at the end of the fucking show. Yeah, sure, he was crucified, but like, you know what? You could get him down, okay? You could fucking get Gannicus down, all right? He was my boy. Dude, I'm telling you. Spartacus, Crixus, Gannicus, dude. Fucking Gannicus. God, I love that show. 10 million episodes, not that huge of a budget overall. It's not anymore. Not anymore. Wonder Woman has more in common with Greek mythology, just letting you know. I don't, okay. Thank you. I appreciate that. What did I say? Is anything Roman? I don't know. Like literally the new Game of Thrones TV show, the showrunner literally said that we've run it on a tight budget to make everything great. I mean, yeah, you want to have a tight budget. That was the biggest problem, I think, with Stranger Things. As much as I enjoyed the 5th season, the biggest problem with it was a show that was a victim of its own success, right? You had, like, how many characters did you have? You had Will, Mike, Lucas, Dusty, right? Or Dustin, your core group. Then you've got Elle, and then you've got Max, and then you've got Hopper, and then you've got Joyce, and then you've got, Steve Harrington, and you've got Rockin' Robin, and you've got fucking Nancy, and then you've got the other buyer's guy, Jonathan. Okay, then you've got Murray, then you've got fucking Lucas's sister, who's great, by the way, and you've got like all of these 12 characters, you've got all of these characters that you have built up for seasons. And when you have a show like that, that's gotten to be so massive, you need to end up putting, you need to find a way to like give everybody a hero moment and everybody an arc and everybody, I don't think everybody should have gone off into the sunset. I think they should have killed a few more characters, to be fair. But I think that was kind of the biggest factor of it, was like you have all of these characters that you now have to like weave through the setting. Cause initially it was like it was the kids, the teens, and the adults, the first couple seasons. Right. And then they started expanding and expanding and expanding. And that's the biggest problem, but still Stranger Things season 5 was solid as fuck. But that was one of the complaints that I had, was it felt like they had too much to do. They had the time to do it, but at some point you got to realize that it doesn't matter, like the Game of Thrones season 8 thing, right? It doesn't matter if you're like, you could have done like 10 seasons. You could have, but that doesn't mean that it was going to be good. It could mean that it would be better than what we got if that's what you wanted, and that's entirely a thing, but it does not mean that it's going to be good. People, for some reason, equate length with quality. That's not necessarily true. Any guy with a dick can tell you that's generally not true. You watch a porn movie, the fucking porn star's got a bigger dick than you, most likely. That doesn't mean that your dick doesn't work. You understand me on that one? It doesn't mean your dick doesn't work, that your dick can't get the job done. Okay, but if you watch that dick get the job done and you think that that dick is the only way that the job can get done, and that your dick, which isn't as big or girthy as that dick, is then inadequate to get the job done, that is setting yourself up for failure. Fight me on the metaphor. Or is it an analogy? I always get the two mixed up. Okay, but that's kind of my whole fucking point. Is just that it's like, it doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like the length of something doesn't matter. The quality of something matters. George R. R. Martin will turn on the showrunner of Knights of the Seventh Kingdom. Yeah, he will. HBO should have put in the contract that George would get fined $1 million every year if all the books aren't finished. I don't think $1 million would be enough. Dick York or Dick Sargent. I know the reference. Yeah. Wait, do you mean it's like, what was it, like Darren from Bewitched? Wait, do you mean Dick York or Dick Sargent? Whoa. I know the reference. Anyway. Thank you. All right. Since you mentioned Spartacus, I wish the spinoff was the first or second Servile War. The War of the Spartacus was the third. Yeah, I don't know anything about that. I just want it to be good. I might watch it eventually. Ask Samantha. There we go. George has had the time to write the story for Elden Ring, but not finish the books. Well, I saw a report the other day that said that George R. R. Martin doesn't really feel like writing Winds of Winter anymore, right? Like he's not really feeling it anymore. And I'm just like, yeah, that's just fucking be honest with people, dog. That's the biggest problem, right? That's the biggest fucking problem is that you're not honest with folk. If you were honest with folk about it, it'd be a totally different story. Be like, guys, I just don't feel it right now. I haven't felt it for years. The backlash to the show fucking bothered me because that was the ending that I had. So I don't know if I want to do it. I mean, be honest about that shit, right? But because he's coping, because his ego won't let him. And that's what angers me so much, dude, is this fucking ego shit, right? Like I get having a healthy ego, especially if you're going to do anything in entertainment. Okay. Like obviously the way I'm talking right now is meant to be kind of like hyperbolic and funny and, you know, animated and things along those lines, which is in many ways how I actually talk. But it's more churched up here because I'm trying to be funny, you know? And so it's like, but again, like the ego is a thing. You got to, you know, I had a lady the other night, man, I had a passenger. Okay. I had to go back and get her at 2:00 in the morning. All right. I had to drive an extra hour out of my way to go get her at 2:00 in the morning. I take her home. It's like an hour and a half drive to get to this lady's house. And it's just her and I in the van. And we're talking. And, you know, I mentioned I lived in LA and I mentioned I did the film stuff. And then she's asking me questions about that because her granddaughter wants to work in film. And so we had a nice conversation. So then I look at my reviews and she fucking says that I was nice, but I wouldn't stop talking. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, lady, you were asking me questions. You were actively talking to me. Like you at no point it's made it feel like in any way you didn't want to talk. I just pissed me the fuck off. But that's also an attack on my ego. Because a big part of my job, a big part of the way that I get my tips is that I talk to people and that I'm funny, you know? And so that just pissed me the fuck off because she also marked me. It wasn't like she just made the comment. She also then because they rate us out of 5 stars and she marked me 3 stars. Like, I'm like, are you kidding me? Right. But the thing though, this lady, right. She's like, she lives in her nice house, like right on the water, the Puget and everything else. And I'm just like, yeah, right. Piss me off, man. People. Anyway, going back to this one. Sorry, HWAD. Sorry. Gunn and DC has already canceled 2 things, Authority and Amazonian show. Remember how much stuff the DCEU has announced and never did? Well, that's very true, but we also don't have a full announcement confirmation for the Authority or the Amazonian show. Those are just reports that have gone out. Right? No, I live in Washington, Music Man. I lived in North Hollywood for 3 years. I went to LA to pursue being a screenwriter. I did that from 2010, 2011, and 2012. I left at the very, very end of 2012. I was there for just under 3 years. So yeah, I was in LA for a couple years. So yes, that's why I was there, and I was working on shit. How dare Jarbo speak? God, fuck right, shit. Didn't George say the ending will be different? George says the ending will be different now because George saw the backlash to season 8 and he didn't want that. But you're telling me out of all the main characters that the writers were focusing on throughout the course of the years that he was involved in the show, that it wouldn't be one of those characters that would ultimately end up taking the throne? It absolutely would be one of those characters. Otherwise, like you're following the journey. At the end of the day, it becomes a process of elimination. So yeah, he was like, Bran, the 3-eyed raven, is going to end up becoming the king. That's what he told him. I guarantee you that's what he told him. And I guarantee you it won't be till after he's dead and buried that Dan and Dave will finally come out and be like, yeah, George told us the ending. You know, that's what we did. We did the ending. This is what he told us. We know we couldn't get to every character that he created, but these are the ones that we agreed upon, and these are the ones that were making it to the end, and this is what we did. And this is what he had said he wanted us to do. And when we finally get that revelation, and we will get that revelation, I can finally stand on my soapbox, raise my head up high, and just wave a flag where people can, or just, you know, basically just consistently do this.
Fuck you, I was right. Fuck you, I was right. Fuck you, I was right.
Yep. Because that's going to happen. That's going to happen one day. I will be exonerated. I'll be vindicated. Go from there. Do I think that the Jon Snow spinoff show will happen? No, because I don't think, I think the concept was interesting. I actually really do think the concept is interesting, that it was more of an introspective show that I think would like lead to like the death of Jon Snow. Right. But it's one of those things where it's like, what's the point? It sounded interesting, but it's also like, what's the point? So, you know, I think if they would have done it to where it was Jon Snow dealing with the aftermath of what happened up in the north, you know, with the wild men. And then there's a new threat that arises and he's got to deal with that while still dealing with everything else. I think that would have been interesting. Like dealing with like the death of Ygritte, the death of Dany, his shame, his you know, like his regret, should he have taken the throne? Right? Like all of those things. He doesn't want to have greatness thrust upon him, but it continuously happens. So even when he's at the darkest of the dark moment of the soul, right? When he's there and he's having that moment, he can then stop and then, you know, like always kind of realize that he was, you know, destined for this, right? So it's an underdog story where the underdog is kind of like, you know, he had all this glory. It was taken away by his own choice. And then, but no matter what, destiny drags him back kicking and screaming into it, you know. Now, what would have been really funny would have been if they would have said, fuck it, let's go. And then they would have, like, through the course of the Jon Snow show, he becomes corrupted, right? Like, he becomes corrupted. Not that he becomes the new Night King, but he becomes corrupted. And then he ends up leading the men of the North against Winterfell and then down towards King's Landing because then he decides he wants the throne. You know, like, look, that might be a totally fucked up way of going about it, but still, it's better than just like him crying and wanting to die alone in a hut. Or just leave the show alone. Well, yeah, there's that. We're talking hypotheticals. Victory is mine, Jar Brother Great. Goddamn right. Fallout Season 2, I need to finish watching. I'm only 2 episodes in. I need to sit down and watch more. It's really good, though. You know, I'm working on the Outer Worlds on Xbox. I want to finish that. I'm almost done with it. At least I think I'm almost done because I get closer to the end and then like another like huge quest line pops up and I'm like, God fucking damn it. But yeah, let's talk about the key thing why 26 of you are here. I also hope that you guys have been you know, leaving the likes, right? So look, we've had a situation brewing in Hollywood right now. Okay. We've had a situation brewing in Hollywood, obviously. We got Seed Dance 2.0. Now, I talked about this a lot last week. It blew up last week. And then it ended up getting crazier over the course of the weekend because you had Warner Brothers, Paramount, SAG-AFTRA. I think there's like a voiceover union that got involved and all these other unions got involved. And they were just like, no, we decry the AI. We don't want it. Right. Well, meantime, you've got all of these fucking videos that are just like flooding Twitter, right? We're talking flooding Twitter, great looking stuff, you know, and everyone out there. What I love, my favorite thing about anti-AI people at this point is that they're just like, this all looks like slop. It doesn't. They're coping. They're heavily coping. And it's sad. It's really sad that they're coping the way that they are, because it's almost like you want to just kind of just like take them to the side and be like, look, bro, I get it. I do. I understand. I get it. I totally understand why you feel the way that you feel. Okay. Let it out. Just let it out. Things are changing. Change is difficult. Change is hard. Change is not something we love to do. But there's always been paradigm shifts in movies. There's always been paradigm shifts in entertainment and technology. Okay. And so I understand that this is something that's new, but I also want to ask you the question of why are you freaking out over things that won't impact you most likely in the slightest? It just won't. It just won't. It's just not going to fucking happen because AI ain't there yet. It's not there yet. But we talk about it. Look, if I talk about AI way too much on this channel, and it bugs you, let me know. I don't think I'll stop, but I'm curious enough if it bugs you. And I talk about it because I think anyone who's followed me for a while knows that I love the industry. And my interest in AI has nothing to do with trying to take away jobs. I want it to expand jobs. I want it to expand creativity. I want people to be able to tap into things that they were previously unable to tap into with the help of technology. And that's how I view it. I look at it through the lens of something that is going to be largely pragmatic and practical in a way that's very much going to benefit people. And I think it does. I think if you use it as the tool it's intended to be and not a replacement, it ends up being a lot better. The downside, though, is that you've got a lot of people that are just so far up their own dick hole, they can no longer not do anything other but choke on their own smegma. And it's just fucking frustrating to watch because it's like, it doesn't matter what it is, right? These people are going to be kicking and screaming until the very end. Like the rest of us will be over here, like playing with these new toys, these new tools, enjoying what's going on. And these guys are going to still be sitting there, like, off in the corner, like, these guys are fucking cucks, man. They don't want to like hang with us, because it's like people are having fun. And that's the biggest thing that they fucking hate. But they also, to be fair, and I will be fair here, when you've got the artists and their fear, I understand their fear. Okay. And I resonate with their fear and I do respect their fear. I try not to make fun of the artists. I make fun of the people who don't create anything. And then they just sit there and they don't have a creative bone in their body. But so they just want to mimic the opinions of others. Right? Because that's really what it boils down to. A lot of the stuff online is simply just that. People who don't actually have the ability to cognitively create their own argument, they have to glom on to others and create that kind of parasocial relationship. Like maybe if I retweet this person enough times and blindly defend all of their insane statements, that they might like me. You know what I mean? And then you can see if you check their social medias, like, I think Twitter interaction in and of itself is generally down, but then like some people just don't get any attention whatsoever. So they have to always seek validation in any way possible. And this is a problem that I think a lot of people have in general, is they don't ever get the type of love that they need to kind of like make them well-rounded people. I think they end up needing to seek out external validation. Again, ego. Big problem. Let's see here. AI will make me understand the Brotherhood of Steel's viewpoint on technology. There you go. Am I ready for MGS4 now on Xbox? I know it's coming, and I'm going to be curious to see if it's any good. Metal Gear Solid 4 was not one that I ever really cared for in general, so I don't know. I think Hideo Kojima is in many ways very much overrated, and people treat Hideo Kojima kind of like George R.R. Martin. And I think that's in part because they're friends, and like they're, because Hideo Kojima is just like a very gifted developer. His storytelling abilities are not good. They're not good. Like somebody needs to sit him down and just be like, Hideo, okay, buddy, we love you, but this idea is pants on heads retarded and you need to not do it. And I don't care about your art. If you want people to not look at you like you're a fucking crazy person, then perhaps you should maybe, tone the flaming whale down from the opening of Metal Gear Solid 5. Because what the fuck? Anyway. Largely being hyperbolic on that one there. With the AI chips are being made of photonics, the light processing speed, this will be a revolution in AI. Yeah, eventually everything is going to get cheaper. It's going to get smaller. It's going to get more efficient. It's going to get all of those things. Because that, my friends, is how technology operates. You can't see me right now. That's okay. But I'm holding in my hands a small, I got to clean that off, a small little memory card the size of an eraser that currently holds 64 gigabytes of space. And you can get that for like $5. It's not that I understand. Has anything about me ever been like I get surrealism? I mean, I get surreal. Well, how about this? I understand it. I don't fucking like it. And that's my own thing with my OCD and ADHD. I can't fucking deal with surrealism. Okay. If you got a point to make, fucking make it point blank. You could tell me an analogy. You could use a metaphor. I'm cool with that, dog. Okay. But no, don't fucking like hide it behind like 25 layers of your fucking childhood trauma. I don't need that shit. Say it to me plainly or shut the fuck up. Okay. I only have time for a little bit of that shit. Anyway, thank you though. So, ByteDance here. Okay. Pledges safeguards, right? They pledge a lot of safeguards. Why is that? Because people are using their new Dance 2.0 to create stuff that is very, very, very copyrighted. So here we go. Just to show you guys this one here. This ain't perfect. Again, none of this stuff is what you'd call perfect, but it's an idea that, again, didn't exist, now exists. And it happened almost instantaneously, which is so fucking fascinating. Now, granted, look, you get to like the back half of this right here and it starts getting kind of wonky. But if anything, this shot right here, nice, looks good, right? You can see why people are having fun playing with it. You know what I mean? So I think, did I have it here? No. Hold on here. Dance 2.0. Let's take a look at this here. Okay, so we can go over here to media, and this is what they got that's generally speaking things that are new. There's the Brad Pitt stuff. We've already seen that, right? I showed you guys the millennial dating. We have more people here now. I'm just going to play this one again because you guys need to see this.
We need to build more data centers. AI needs it.
To cure cancer, right? We're curing cancer. Right?
Sorry.
We need to build more data centers. AI needs it.
That just caught me off guard. Like, we're curing cancer, right? And then just bam. It just hits you in the face. Like a big old pair of titties. Right? Like a big old pair of titties. Good stuff. You've got, here we go. We got, I don't know if there's a video here or not. Vader versus Thanos. Something else. Here we go. This is one guy made it Rocky.
Yo, these fries got onions. I said no onions, you burger-flitting loser.
Onions build character.
Character, you look like you lost to a spatula. Refund now, Palunka.
Adrian hates rude customers.
Adrian, your imaginary...
Yo, next.
Yo!
I mean, like, okay, conceptually interesting. At the same time, it's mixing live action with animation. And it looks, you know, look at the cell shading on Stallone. This looked okay.
Palunka.
You know, and then like just look at the quality. Look at the detail on the face. Can you see the detail? You can see the individual pores almost, right? No, John, this is a Samsung micro SD card. I'm talking about Samsung, buddy. It just gives you an idea of all this here, right? So look, the one of the key things again today that I wanted to touch upon is I did want to say real quick, right? 2025 or 6 has sucked. We've lost Catherine, we've lost Robert today, we lost James the other day, and now Hollywood is also dying in 2026. The hits just keep on coming, folks. Be sure to give your loved ones a hug, tell them that you love them, and then again, 2026 is going to be a year that probably takes a lot of our heroes. Just as an FYI. Anyway, I just wanted to, oops, wrong one. Let me go. Oh, wait, no, holy shit. I meant that was the wrong one. There we go. I forgot which scene I was in. So anyway, some might argue that Hollywood died a long time ago. I'm not going to effectively disagree with you on that one. I do think there's a lot that's changed. I think there's a lot that's happening in regards to the paradigm shift, and I think that we as people need to kind of realize that. But hold on here. What is this one? Is this what I think it is? Is this, oh shit, command unit? This one's for you, buddy. Look, it is a space marine with a flaming sword of death up against Leonardo with one katana. Who wins, folks? I don't know. Wow. So there's some errors there, obviously, with Leonardo, the one katana, and he goes to pull out a second katana, and then it cuts back to the one katana. It's very quick, but at the same time, it's that's really, really, really interesting. That was pretty good, and that's the consistency is there. All right, yeah, the sword immediately stopped flaming. Exactly. That's kind of, again, the issues of all of this has everything to do with the notion that you will not be able to control it all right away, which is why it's not what you would call something that's going to end up like destroying the world as we know it right now. But what we're seeing here is the idea of it, the idea of what can be done, the idea of what can be made, of what can be shown, of what kind of items can come out of it, and why that is so interesting. And now I will say this, okay, I do wish that people would stop with the copyrighted material, because at the end of the day, that doesn't help anybody. Actually, that's not true. What I think is really going on here is ByteDance is flooding the market with this shit, right? They've got the models. I think they are cranking. They have no restrictions for, I think, some people to go out and make all this content, right? All of these things. And then they flood the zone, and then they force the system to react. So the system then reacts, and then they go, okay, we'll back down. But now they know the limit. Now they know what they will put up with. Now we know what they will, what they fear. And when you know what they fear, you can use it against them. So in this particular example that I'm trying to say, and this is all hypothetical, in this particular hypothetical situation, my theory is that ByteDance, because I want to show you guys, let's see here. I want to find the post, if I can find it. Okay. Hold on. There was, I gotta find it. Okay. This is one here, not the original post, but this is one of the posts. Okay. So it says here, C-Dance 3.0 rumors just dropped. 10 to 18 minute coherent AI films from a single prompt. Full narrative memory, emotional dubbing, director level control. C-Dance 2.0 already cooking everything in sight, and now 3.0 specs floating around with 10-minute generations and built-in dubbing. ByteDance is moving at a pace that makes every other lab look like they're standing still. Even if half of what's leaked is real, the content creation game is about to flip completely. Full short films from a prompt. No crew, no budget, no excuses. 2026 is going to separate the builders from the watchers, and most people aren't ready for how fast this hits. Short clip era just died. Feature films are next. Who's ready? Now, blame Trump for this. You know what? You're not wrong. You're not necessarily wrong. Do I think I'll get emotional when I rewatch Home Alone? Yeah. Yeah. Anything with Catherine O'Hara will get me emotional. Anyway, so here's the thing. C-Dance 2.0 was a week ago. And now these rumors about C-Dance 3.0 came from a couple of days ago. I've been working, so I've been able to talk about it. But this is what they're doing. Okay, they flood the market, right? They force a response. They now know what these studios will put up with, and they know the quality of the output. Okay, if the quality of the output was shit, okay, if the quality of output was not good, they wouldn't give a fuck because it's not worth it to get in the fight. All right, but because the quality of the output is so good, they legally have to get into the fight. All right, because there could be, and this is a pretty big could be, but there could be people out there who believe that the prompting, the output, is the stuff officially released from the studio or from the production company. And at that point, they run into a problem with trademark law, because trademark law is going to get, more or less says that you have to defend it or else you lose it. And so that's the main reason for the cease and desist, right? The last thing that any of these companies want to do is actually get into a legal battle with ByteDance. And the last thing ByteDance wants to do is get into a legal battle with these companies. But ByteDance holds the upper hand. They do, because 19.9% of TikTok in America is owned by ByteDance. The other 81.1% is owned through investors like Oracle and other people that are very heavily tied to President Donald Trump. Okay. And there's a lot of money to be made with TikTok through American advertisers. So they don't really want to fuck with that just yet. But at the same time, ByteDance is from China, and China don't give a fuck. And I mean this, they don't give a fuck about fucking copyright law. They never have. So the thing to consider with this, the thing to really, really, really remember about this is that all of these guys, you know, what they're doing, in my opinion, is they are showing what can be done. And then when C-Dance 3.0 comes out, or maybe 4.0, whenever it's good enough to do a feature length or to make it really, really, really flow into the VFX pipeline and everything else, that's when they're going to go to these studios with a package to get them to buy into the model, to subscribe to their model, to license their model, because it's cheaper for the studios at the end of the day to do that than to actually end up owning their own and operating their own AI model right now. Eventually they will, but for right now, no, they're not going to do it. And I think a lot of people need to realize that. Okay, at the end of the day, follow the fucking money. What does the money show you? Right? What does the money show you? That China is coming out with this model that's good. And it's going to be a lot of people making a lot of fucking money at it. What is Leo is getting fucking destroyed? What is Leo? Tell me that shit. What is, I want to see what this guy's doing here. I don't know what this one is. This could be from C-Dance. Let's see what this is. Is it a Warhammer thing? Iron Man. Okay. Does anyone know what this is supposed to be? I mean, all right. I prefer there to be a story rather than just random, random attack scenes. It's not bad, though. Command unit here says, wait for Russian Gen AI, no copyright at all. Oh, yeah. What are we watching? I got no fucking idea. Buntastic looks amazing. That's right. This is the new Buntastic, everybody. This looks like Chinese slop. How can you call it slop, dude? This is the opposite of slop. It may not be great, right? But it's coherent, it's cohesive. There are some minor continuity issues, but for the most part, you could follow what was happening. You maybe, didn't know all of what was happening, but you could follow what was happening. And that is the whole point, right? That's the whole Shazam. That's the whole kit and fucking caboodle of it all, right? Is it can be done. And because it can be done, well, you get something like this. Hold on to your butts.
I'm really busy. Can you get Sophia today?
What? No, I have a meeting. I can't.
Oh, shit. Fine.
Reporting what is being called a geomagnetic storm. This is a phenomenon caused by a massive
information as it comes available. Stay tuned to this channel for continuous coverage.
I'm on my way. I need you to hide. Get underground.
This part right here, like, Roland Emmerich, eat your heart out.
Good morning, Sleeping Beauty.
What the fuck is he doing
Why don't
there?
you get the president on the phone?
We have her.
I'll be right there.
What the fuck, right? What in the fuck? Fourth says, I'm already sick of the end of the world blockbusters right now. Imagine 2 years of this shit. I'm just saying, dog, it's fucking, it's crazy, man. It's crazy as shit. This was done by guys called the Door Brothers. And they're crazy, yeah. Time to the what's it? Return that red raptor. I know what you guys are talking about. All that's missing is Michael Bay Dutch angles. I could be done. It could be done. I don't know if they did that in Sea Dance. I don't know what they used to make that shit. The Door Brothers, what do they say about it here? They said, we made a $200 million AI movie in just one day. Yes, this is 100% AI. And then, yeah, Geeks Vibe Nation here says, looks like an over-the-top ad for the Cybertruck, which I'm not going to lie, kind of does. It felt a little Cybertrucky. And then Sean, AOL, or AI slob. Okay, whatever. And it's, yeah, everyone's pretty much dogging on the fucking... like talking on the Cybertruck. It's just like, it's crazy, man. Let's see, people pointing, this one I think makes a lot of sense. The people pointing out the flaws are in denial about what changes are coming. And I think that more or less showcases what I've been trying to talk about now for like quite literally the past 3 years. I want to see a deep, romantic, dramatic scene with AI. You probably could. Too unrealistic. Cash Patel wasn't cross-eyed enough. Yeah, probably. You have a feeling that Elon made this. I have a feeling that Elon funded it, to be fair. But I don't know if Elon, did he, hold on, let me see here. 8 million views. in the last 11 hours, 13 hours. Let me see quotes, view post activity. Okay. Zachary Levy here. Oh, wow. Are we paying attention yet? Yeah. I don't know about the $200 million price tag, but progress is pretty jarring in the past 15 months since the Door Brothers did an eToro ad that was also set in New York. So this is the Door Brothers. Oh, God damn, that's fucking loud. I don't think I can turn it down at all. What in the fuck?
The people that's giving the damage, they turn into animal savage. Serranos and hippos and man. 不管我到哪里，我的象征力，我常想让每天都可以跟你在一起。你那美丽的眼神，那无邪的天真，一定是我上辈子修来最好的一阵。不必多说，也不必啰嗦，所有一切心中爱的我都不想错过。
Okay, so they made this how long ago? 15 months ago. It's a little over a year. I mean, that's how fast it's changed. It's crazy stuff. I'm trying to see. I don't think Elon has retweeted it, although I wouldn't be surprised if he has. But anyway, that's kind of the whole point, right? I love this here, like this Alex Cohen guy. I know these things are evolving quickly, but this is pure garbage AI slop. Again, cope hard, man. Although Peter Coffin, and I'm buddy with Peter here, which is weird because we used to be enemies like years ago. We're past the point of this thing being impressive. It's just a mishmash of tropes and see the same taking place now-isms. It's wonderful we do the visuals now, but if you can't tell a story, then who gives a shit? And therein lies the inherent problem right now. Okay. All right. Therein lies the inherent issue in the moment. Can people tell cohesive stories with it? Right now, stories as a whole is going to vary. We've watched stories before, short films before that told a full story, beginning, middle, and end with AI. That was actually like really good, but this is very much a mishmash. And I agree with that. It is a bunch of smashing toys together. The same thing that happened when they were talking about, what was it? Oh God, if I could think correctly here for a second, it was, God damn it. I fucking blanked on it. It's just like, yeah. Okay. Sorry. The stuff with Henry Cavill's Superman and all that, like fighting Darkseid and everything else. I told this to HBarts. I'm like, it's just people smashing their toys together, and not that it's a bad thing, but you got to tell some cohesive shit. Because if you don't start talking cohesively, then you're going to lose people pretty quick, right? The spectacle is going to wear off. You know what I mean? So it's like a couple of these over here. Let's see here. Share the AI TMNT avatar vid on HWAD Facebook. Okay. Did you post it or let me see here. Hold on. I got to go over to let's see. Did you post it on the HWAD Facebook? Because I don't. Oh, there we go. Okay. Let me find it here. Oh God, Okay. Oh, okay. Here we go. All right. So, this is. I'm not too sure. I didn't even look at it directly. Okay, this is Ninja Turtles versus Avatar.
Sorry, guys, this is amazing, but I'm super thirsty.
Let's fuck. Oh my God, no. Inspector Gadget, Alf, Captain Planet, the Power Rangers.
I swear I am not going to fall in love on this stupid planet.
That is what you said on Sector 7, you liar!
This is Unabusium, the most sought-after oozium in the galaxy, which by the second and third films are completely forgotten about.
Do you guys know how much RAM this place takes to run?
That just cost $1 million!
You should not be here.
What about here?
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Do you know what we need? More whales!
If you could sum up Larry Tesler in one image.
I dunno, do we need some more whales or what? Once again, I made the mistake of thinking I had the power, when in fact these turtles subsequently have more now.
Oh, hey, I love Fern Gully. Did you know you says a line, "This is great," and the exact same line is said in Avatar, word for word? So, what is your movie about? What is the story?
Well, it's, about, well...
You will fall! Never!
I see you. Pee.
They may take our lives! No, no! I mean, I see in your eyes the same fear. No, damn! Close!
Well, that's it, the end. We literally killed the bad guys and sent the other home. Story's over. We would just be badly repeating ourselves if we somehow continued this.
See, and that's a big part of kind of what I've been talking about with this stuff. It has a lot to do with the level of shit posting that we're going to see more from, you know, and that's a big part of it. Like there's a lot of shit posting, and that's why it's gonna, you know, once they start memeing stuff, and I mean like really, really memeing stuff, you are, you know, you are very much going to see like, you know, it really take the fuck off. That was pretty good though. You got to admit this wasn't good. I'm not saying it was good. I'm saying that it was entertaining. I thought it was pretty funny. You know, it was very much, yeah, I got it. Yeah. I tried for Hollywood After Dark. I think I'm like the only one that's really posting on there, for right now, but I just got to figure out how to make it work. You sent me a 40K Inspector Gadget short. All right. Inspector Gadget. I wouldn't mind if they brought back Inspector Gadget a little bit. You know, they need to. They got to find a way to bring back my boy. But I don't know if they're gonna be able to do it. All right, here we go. Is this real, or you said this is AI, or what is this? Oh, okay. No, it's not AI. Okay, I thought it was for some reason. That's cool. I like the legs. The legs crack me up. All right, so I want to see this. I was briefly on with Little Movie Perp last night on his stream as I was working, and he was talking about this concept trailer that he had done called for Guyver, in this case Shin Guyver, and I didn't know that this was like a parody, like not a parody, but this was based on an IP. But from what I saw, it was pretty cool, and I want to. Oh Jesus, I want to showcase it.
時々なぜお前まだ生きてるのか不思議に思ってる。好きなんだ。ずっと川にいてほしい。
왜 제가
お父様に一言いただければと、会社のものをわし物化してその小八を元気にしてくださりたいとの。
为社子提纠正他好。
君が盗んだのは最高機密の研究だ。すでに犠牲者が出ている。過剰摂取のことじゃない。ラボでゾアノイドと呼んだ何かと混交されて、彼らは変わってしまったんだ。
そう。
太傅养医疗，太垂体当车。
全ユニットコードアイアンに移動する。あの娘をここに連れてくるんだが、もしプレートがロックするなら。
Guyver.
A 父亲杀。
See, like, that was pretty fucking cool. Oh, there's something else there. I mean, that was done by Little Movie Perp. The baddie with the white hair and neck tats should get the solo spinoff. Hell yeah. I have not watched the one from the 90s. Okay, but I honestly didn't even, I had heard about it, but I forgot about it, and then I was reminded about it last night. But my point, though, is like Perp put that together, and that shit was pretty fucking based, you know? So it's pretty cool. It's pretty dope. And that is just one of the things that is ultimately coming. You know what I mean? It is absolutely going to get us there. Whatever that means. I don't even know anymore. But a couple more things I want to show you guys here. I don't really, like, this is kind of what I wanted to chat about tonight. If anyone else has any topics, now is kind of the time.
Where the hell are they from again?
Yugoslavia, Commandant.
I've got to make room.
They know it was you. They know it was you that made the chest big.
I am a tit guy, I'll admit that. But I don't want everyone knowing that. I don't want everyone to think I'm some kind of tit monster.
So you gave all the women in Schindler's List huge tits?
It's a test. You need footage to test with. You use whatever's lying around. I was testing the Chinese models.
Where the hell are they from again?
Yugoslavia.
Oh my God, I didn't realize that was Ben Kingsley. Fucking telling me. Just the look on his face. This should be an actual episode of Curb. See, that's let's watch it again. All right, come on, play, goddammit.
I've got to make room.
They know it was you. They know it was you that made the chest big.
I am a tit guy, I'll admit that. But I don't want everyone knowing that. I don't want everyone to think I'm some kind of tit monster.
So you gave all the women in Schindler's List huge tits?
It's a test. You need footage to test with. You use whatever's lying around. I was testing the Chinese models.
Where the hell are they from again?
Yugoslavia, Commandant.
I've got to make room.
Oh, wow. That, my friends, is a reality. Here we go. Here's another one. This is apparently Henry Cavill. If you notice, a lot of the AI Superman stuff is all Henry Cavill. Gee, I wonder why. Look at the intensity in the face. The only downside to that is it slows down a little bit, like mid-punch, like or mid-air. But that was pretty good. Actually, that was pretty solid. Got to admit that there, you know what I'm saying? All right, here we go. What's this one?
No, please, no, no! Here's Johnny!
that was pretty good. I think I saw something similar to that the other day. Let's see what else. Anyone know what is this? My Hero Academia? Is this what this one is? I have yet to see one Brandon Ralph Sweat version of the character. Yeah, you're not going to. Probably not going to. So here's the thing, right? There's something I saw pop up over the weekend where apparently, some people have found a way to turn anime into live action using this. Right? I'd like to get the resident anime people, their opinion on this, simply because I feel like they're going to be against it. And I actually tend to agree. You know what I mean? I actually very much tend to agree on all of that because I feel looks like Wesker. Does look a bit like Wesker. Okay, I'm here. Yeah, right, there you go. Okay, is this My Hero Academia? I haven't played it yet, but the suits kind of give it away. Okay. But I mean, there's people out there that are like wanting to make live action out of anime. I can't be the only one that thinks that's weird, right?
So you're the one.
Wow, everyone showed up at once.
Right. Guess we're doing this.
Okay, so I don't know what this is. Let me see what this is here. Yeah, is this totally made up or is it from a manga? I don't know. I don't know what the fuck it is. Oh, there's more. Oh my God, there's more. Okay, here we go. Multimodality. Check this one out.
Try blocking this.
You're getting closer.
Then I'll hit harder. Try blocking.
So what is this? Anyone know what that's from? Because I don't know what that's from. All right, we saw that one. Here we go.
On the floor. On the floor. Wait. It's him. On the floor.
All right, so Jess, do you know what this is? Kauzen Jiu-Jitsu is what LA Blue Girl live action? I don't know. Just make the anime AI. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, right? That's what I was thinking. I don't know why you'd have to go and like do the other. Let's see. Here we go. This one is Thanos versus Wolverine.
I am simply trying to...
Shut up!
Oh, you got me fucked up. Oh, you got me fucked up! Oh, shut up! Cut! Let's do it again. Oh, you got me fucked up. Cut! Let's do it again. Trust I get ear right this time. Oh, you got me fucked up. I nailed it that time, nice and deep. Oh, you got me fucked up. About time. Oh, you got.
Was that James Gunn?
Up. Oh shit! This really works. I am simply trying.
Okay, so there's some stuff there, but there's the shot. This looks like James Gunn, right? Is this where's a reverse shot of this? That's more Wolverine. Where is it at? I think, yeah, that looks like James Gunn. That's pretty funny, actually. Here we go. What's this one here? Oh, no.
Whoa. Psyduch, water type, duck Pokemon. It uses mysterious powers when its headache gets worse.
No, come on.
Come on, get in the ball.
Whoa. Psyduch, water type, duck.
All right, I would watch something like this. To be honest with you, I would. I think a lot of us would too. Psyduch, I know. That's pretty funny. Again, yeah, their faces keep changing. Yeah, well, I mean, like again, in many ways, what we're dealing with is a thing where, you don't have like, a lot to work with, right? You sent me an AI video on Discord. Okay, I'll take a look at that, and I'll take a look here at what the Droga sent as well. What, dude? Hold on, you can't I can't. I have to download it. I don't know where it's going to download. All right. Hold on. Okay. This is what command unit sent. Wait. I'm sorry. Hold on. For one, okay, cool. Two, were those guys kamikazes? Are they parachuting down with bombs? Is that what's going on there? What does a computer handheld say? It said Psyduck. But they said Psydouche, which to be fair, Psyduck can be a bit of a bitch at times. Oh, that's Attack on Titan. Okay, I would not know. I've never seen Attack on Titan. But you can see though. All right, let me bring this bigger. Like, okay, you got this shot here, right? Like, that's pretty accurate. That looks. I mean, a couple things. The AI doesn't fully get everything about that, but it looks, pretty consistent. I just don't know. It's such a weird thing right there. This the look of complacency on this gentleman's face down here in the bottom image. It's like, yeah, I'm going to go die. Ooh, I'm just singing in the rain, just swinging in the rain. And then, all right. I mean, that looks pretty decent. Kind of cool, actually. That is good. Yeah. It must be a Japanese kamikaze thing. Always Japanese kamikaze thing. Let's see. Also, it should really be AI because of that Dragon Ball Evolution movie. Well, yeah, but we don't talk much about that, right? Let's see here. Drogo wants the Killing Joke converted to live action AI. I mean, I like the Killing Joke. That was a good movie. Okay. Did you send it to me? There we go. You did send it to me on there. All right. So what is this? Superman fighting the boss. Oh God, Spider-Man fighting Epstein. This is going to sound crazy, but you know what I want out of the AI stuff is I really want, big, kaiju, old kaiju, like Mighty Morphin Power Ranger shit. That's some pretty funny stuff. It's crazy. Extended Batman, be Batgirl sex scene. Yeah. You had a terrible double feature the other day with Dragon Ball Evolution and Tekken. Look, man, if you're out there trying to torture yourself, I can't help with that at all. Jesus Christ, why the fuck would you do that shit? Well, I mean, actually, I never saw either of them. Okay, hold on here. Let me just make sure I don't show off any DMs with people. Okay. Oh yeah, I've seen this one. I have seen this one. Drogo. This one to me felt like more like a an advertisement for Paramount Plus. Shit, I lost connection to that. StreamYard's like, you lost audio. All right, here we go. This is the one. So that one is, I mean, it's interesting because it feels like I said, more of a Paramount thing. Iron Man and the Avengers, the first Avengers movie was released via Paramount. So that's kind of the vibe I got. Who's this blue dude? Who's this guy? I don't know who this guy is. An Epstein kaiju. There we go. Could be worse. Double Dragons. Yeah. Listen, that movie came out in the 90s. Okay. Came out in the 90s. Okay. Dorian is a Japanese cartoon cat. Okay, well, there we go. Now, do you guys think that I would know what a Japanese cartoon cat would be called? The answer to that is no. No, I would not. But, you know. All right. So keeping it on the industry, let's move over here. I want to see what John Francine Campia has to say about this whole thing going on, because Campia here, remember, Campia's very much in the, Gen X, no longer has his fingers on the pulse of the film industry, but still is able to kind of command a decent audience, despite the fact that his whole subreddit fucking hates him, right? So, oh my God, Sean has another video that he just put out about Star Wars. AI Star Wars slop. Jesus Christ, dude. He's just trying to piss everybody off. All right.
The potential threat that AI poses to creativity, filmmakers, people in the industry, all that kind of stuff. And largely, I think it's fair to say those discussions over the last couple of years have mostly been rooted in the theoretical. Theoretically this, theoretically that. Well, some of you guys may have seen a little video that came out in the last couple of days of Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise going at it, fighting on a rooftop. And it was stunning. I mean, at least some of the fight choreography was a little wonky, but really, in terms of realism, if you took this video and went back in time to 2013 and showed this video to somebody, there was no way they wouldn't believe that this is absolutely real.
Mm-hmm.
But
maybe not that video, but the other one.
Not just its realism, but it has sparked another kind of controversy and really brought up the issue of violating copyright laws. And
hold on, Parallax. Yeah, I've been calling him John Francis Campia ever since he said, look at Tobey Maguire's dick almost 5 years ago, which was when we got the last Spider-Man movie. God damn. How the fuck has it been that long? Holy shit. Anyway, I've been calling him John Francis Campia since then, and it fits. It absolutely fits. Yeah, how much of a threat is it really? That's the main question there. But he's talking about copyright law now. I just want to keep it
violating people's image rights to a whole new level, to the point that on a very rare occasion, this is now happening. The studios and the actors union are on the same side, because of this article in Variety, writing SAG-AFTRA slams blatant infringement in C-Dance AI videos. Now, why is there a picture of Samwise Gamgee there? Well, because they got him too. And he's the president of SAG now.
Yep, that's right.
Anyway, writes this. SAG-AFTRA is joining the industry condemnation of ByteDance, the Chinese owner of TikTok, for releasing a new video model that has enabled widespread copyright online. SAG-AFTRA president Sean Austin, also known as Samwise Gamgee, is among those whose likenesses has been used in videos generated by the model. C-Dance 2.0. In the video, he appears in the role of Samwise Gamgee in The Lord of the Rings, saying, "Mr. Frodo, why don't we just take the Eagles to Mount Doom?" Which, of course, has been the running joke for 20 years. There you have it. Anyway, let's go down to their actual statement. SAG-AFTRA stands with the studios in condemning the blatant infringement enabled by ByteDance's new AI video model, C-Dance 2.0, the union said. The infringement includes the unauthorized use of our members' voices and likenesses. This is unacceptable and undercuts the ability of human talent to earn livelihood. C-Dance 2.0 disregards laws, ethics, industry standards, and basic principles of consent. Responsible AI development demands responsibility, and that is non-existent here. Now, again, if we go over...
Look, I do agree with that, right? As marvelous as the technology is, you do have to have those safeguards in place. And a lot of people have run out and done shit with the celebrities, you know, and so they are, they're kind of building their house on sand, because at any point in time, the content owner, the copyright owner could come back in and be like, "Fuck you, cunt." And then you lose it, right? You lose it. And that happened the other day. There was this jazz channel, like Sith Daddy or whatever it was. And it was this guy doing Emperor Palpatine AI videos with like AI jazz music. And it was actually kind of cool, right? Clearly within parody, clearly falls within parody. But YouTube, without any strikes or any kind of guidance from Disney, at least from the looks of it, shut it down. Because the biggest problem that happens in these scenarios is that the tech companies overreact. And they overreact because they don't want to be sued. All right. And if Joseph Gordon-Levitt gets his way, then Section 230 is going to be going away, which is then going to remove like the kind of like the, what's the word? What's the word for it? Kind of like the impartiality of the, of the platforms in regards to like, who publishes what. And that is more of a violation of free speech than whatever they're fighting back against.
I mean, you take a look at some of them. I mean, this is, again, you show this to somebody in 2019. They're not going to believe. And look, even the way they talk, and watch the tilt of the head right there. That little Tom Cruise tilt. That is so Tom Cruise-ism. It's just insane. But listen, it does bring up, look, I'm one of these guys who believes trying to stop the progress of technology is like trying to stop the flow of a river with a piece of paper. It can't happen. You're not going to stop the progress of technology. But there is a difference between stopping the progress of technology and responsibly litigating how that technology can and cannot be used, what it can be used for and what it should not be used for. And I think this video is the first real manifestation, Rob, of the theoretical problem we've been debating for years. It's not a theoretical problem anymore now.
No.
Like it's got, now, is it perfect yet? No, it's still not perfect, but it's to the point now, again, where you show this to somebody, they're going to be very, very hard pressed. It's not like that Will Smith spaghetti eating video that first came out. The people are going to have a legit difficulty determining whether something they're looking at is real. And that's a problem. That's a real problem. I mean, we could go into the scope of the problem beyond the world of entertainment and how it could cause problems legally, but we won't go into that. We'll stick with movies. But this is something that the actors union, that the studios, that hell, I even say IATSE I mean, these are issues that all of the unions and all of the studios and all of the producers are going to have to, and apparently Disney's even launched a lawsuit that I think you're going to see Brad Pitt lawyer up, and you're going to see a lawsuit coming from him. I think you're going to see lawsuits coming from Tom Cruise. I think that's going to happen because, you know, you take some other AI models like Google Gemini, ChatGPT, and multiple people have posted online examples of, hey, they tried to make a poster of Will Smith doing this, and ChatGPT comes right back and says, sorry, this violates our things. We can't do this. Somebody tried to make a thing of that Tim Burton. What was the alien invasion movie again?
Mars Attacks.
Mars Attacks. They tried to do this Mars Attacks thing, and it worked on it, but then it spit out a thing saying, hey, this violates our whatever. I mean, that's something that all these AI models are going to have to incorporate. Guys, we want to take a second to thank us.
Look at this here. Okay, 5:38, 37 or whatever, 38. Okay, 5:38. How long is this? How long is this thing? It's over a minute long for just this advert. Fuck you. I mean, I can't blame him necessarily because, you know, I do the same thing, but whatever.
One of the writers of Deadpool even came out.
Reese. Yeah.
Yeah, Reese came out. Rhett Reese came out and said, well, this is it for us. We're kind of dead now. Might have been exaggerating a bit there, but what were your first thoughts when you saw this specific video? Well, and what do you think about the uproar now that the studios and the unions are talking about?
Well, I had seen this video, and then there's actually another video. YouTuber, a YouTuber friend of mine, Dave Cullen, sent me a link to the, I don't know.
I know Dave Cullen personally. Dave Cullen is a conspiracy theorist and a fucking insane dude. When I first met him in 2017, nice guy, a little out there, but a nice guy. And then his mom died and he went off the goddamn rails. So, you know, he's out there. Oh, everything is woke. Everything is terrible. Everything needs to be called out. You know, the Anita Sarkeesian of Irish YouTube.
If you saw the Star Trek The Next Generation Data video where he's a rock and roll star.
I have not seen that one.
I mean, again, the likenesses and everything is incredible. And Dave asked, he goes, what do you think of this? I mean, this is all next level. It's all the same AI. I mean, people have been flooding. There's another one where Steve Rogers is fighting John Wick. Right. Captain America is fighting John Wick. And so what's happened now is, look, actors get likeness approval. You have to have their likeness approval in a contract if you want to put their face on a movie poster. You know, it's all that kind of, because that's what they're paid for. Now, unfortunately, the AI companies have to get spanked hard over these kinds of things because what you're now doing is you are violating personhood. And now I understand. I mean, look at this. This is really I mean, this is, and remember, this is the worst it is right now. Imagine where it's going to be. AI is racing forward. We're in the fast takeoff. It's called the fast takeoff mode of AI. Now, I think AI can be a great tool, but this is what people fear, is that with the one keystroke or one prompt, you're going to have Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt starring in a movie together. Well, that's not what unfortunately, people should be using AI to create new things. You know, create AI-generated characters that you've prompted into existence, or use yourself and modify yourself for something. By doing this, you're violating 10 different copyright notices. And if an AI company has enabled this to occur, like, they can make it so you can't. I'll give you an example. I made an album with Suno, and in some of my prompts, I would ask, I want to do it in the style of this. Suno's like, no artist names. They said, you can't ask us to make a Depeche Mode song. It will not allow you to do that. And I thought that was a really great way to go. Because it forces people to then, you've got to come.
Well, then you can just like basically go to like another AI and be like, hey, yo, Grok, I want to make a song that sounds like, you know, Depeche Mode. And it's like, what Suno prompt can I use? And it's like, oh, here you go. You know what I mean? So it's like not Depeche Mode, but it's like Depeche Mode.
Come up with your own things. And this is something that should have been taken care of from the very beginning. And I understand people are enthusiastic. Some of the Star Wars stuff that I've seen, like Anakin Skywalker, the one where he just becomes Darth Vader, and they show his chest being cut open. It's amazing. I mean, and I'm the first person to be like, I want to watch that. Or the Duel of the Fates script that Skywalker Stories has been adapting. That guy's going to put out the Duel of the Fates movie, and it'll be incredible. And Disney already kind of got out.
They're not going to let that come out.
Well, I mean,
no way
Disney,
they're going to let that come out.
but Disney got in front of that. They said, look, we're going to put our characters out there to be licensed so we can use the material, the best of the, because they'll look at the best of it and go, that's ours.
Now, Disney has already done this, by the way. Okay. This is where I agree with Robert. Robert and I don't normally agree, but we're agreeing a lot here today on this one. I want to take y'all back. Okay. I want to take y'all back 5 fucking years. Okay. We're going back a lot to 2021 today. It feels like, Jesus, so long. Take you back to the season 2 finale of a little show called The Mandalorian. You know, we're all watching it. That X-Wing appears. Right? Grogu looks at the screen, raises his hands. You're like, wait, who is it? Is it, you know, the Ranger that we've met a couple times this season? Who is it? Who could it be? You know, cuts to the Dark Troopers. They're there. The elevator opens up. Out comes the black robe, the green saber, slicing and dicing and cutting and nutting all over the fucking place. Fanboys hit sexual maturity all over the world. Grown men brought to tears, myself included. But there was one thing about it that didn't necessarily make a lot of sense, and that didn't necessarily work the way that they wanted it to. And what was that, my friends? Oh, yeah. Luke Skywalker's face looked a little bit like Doc Ray Montgomery from fucking Stranger Things. All right. Didn't look a lot like Luke, but it was Luke. Looked close enough, but not right away. So then some YouTuber, guy by the name of Shamuk, right, brings in his own deep fake skill, his own deep fake technology that he's working with, and he fixes it to make it look more like Mark Hamill at that age. Posts it on YouTube. People lose their shit. People say, this is amazing. This is wonderful. This is better than what we got on the show. Holy shit, how did you do that? So what did Lucasfilm do? What did Disney do? Right? They didn't shut Shamuk down. They didn't take him to court over fixing their mistakes. They hired him. They brought him into the fold. And he then helped work on young Luke Skywalker, the deep fake Luke Skywalker from from the Book of Boba Fett, Episode 5, Return of the Mandalorian, as well as Harrison Ford in the opening of Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. And that, my friends, was even 3 fucking years ago. So how well has the technology gotten in the last couple of years? We haven't seen it, I think, until we get The Mandalorian and Grogu. New trailer for that drops tomorrow. There'll be a lot to talk about, obviously. But I think that they are fully aware of what is coming. And they want to embrace it in a way that they can maybe do it under the radar to where it's not going to, like, bite them in the ass right now. Right. Now, who is this guy he was talking about? Who was this dude? He was saying here, the other guy. I want to just kind of go back for a second. And then what was the name of that channel?
Because it forces people to then, you've got to come up with your own things. And this is something that should have been taken care of from the very beginning. And I understand people are enthusiastic. Some of the Star Wars stuff that I've seen, like Anakin Skywalker, the one where he just becomes Darth Vader, and they show his chest being cut open. It's amazing. I mean, and I'm the first person to be like, I want to watch that. Or the Duel of the Fates script that Skywalker Stories has been adapting. That guy's going to put out.
Okay, Skywalker Stories. Okay, that one I don't know about, but all right. Okay. Oops, where am I at?
Out the Duel of Fates movie. And it'll be incredible. And Disney already kind of got out.
They're not going to let that come out.
Well, I mean,
no way they're going to let that come out.
But Disney got in front of that. They said, look, we're going to put our characters out there to be licensed so we can use the material, the best of the, because they'll look at the best of it and go, that's ours. Thanks for all the work. And they'll take it and do whatever they want. But it's not look, this is irresponsible. And I think that this company should have known this was going to happen. And we as fans, of course, people are going to make their favorite memes using their favorite actors. But we have to condition society that it's not a good thing to do, that you are violating someone else's personhood. And this is something we have not come to terms with, but we're going to have to real fast. And I think the studios have no choice but to lawyer up and be as hard as they can on this stuff, because it doesn't lead anywhere good, and it devalues how's Brad Pitt going to be able to justify getting paid what he normally gets paid for a movie if somebody can do this?
And again, listen, I'm not one of these people who is against the progression of technology.
Me neither.
Whatsoever. I mean, I'm okay with finding ways to take advantage of AI and filmmaking and stuff like that, 100%. I mean, again, we've already seen massive changes made to the movie making industry from technology. Whereas before, you have to get a physical space and build these large, incredible sets and blah, blah, blah. Well, guess what? In the early 2000s, hell, in the late 1990s, early 2000s, they figured out, oh, just a couple of people in a room with a computer can make that background for us instead of a team of 40 people or 60 people or 150 people building and constructing a set. Or matte painting became a thing. Like, if you want to go all the way back decades, technology will always advance and the movie industry will always find ways to adapt the new technology, but there's right ways and wrong ways to do it. And I think that's all we're talking about. Anyway, guys.
So, no, actually, I will say, usually as I give, Campia and Rob a lot of shit, this was a balanced take. This is actually a very balanced take, and they are entirely correct about it. I do agree that with Robert that this kind of stuff would end up devaluing these actors. They should fight back. They should regulate, obviously. But again, like I said, my theory is that ByteDance more or less got them to show their hand about what they will allow versus the limits of what they won't. And now they know where they can more or less get away with it and hold their feet to the fire. And that's not something that everybody wants to hear, obviously, but I think that's very true. I think that's very, very, very true. Because otherwise, what is it that they are doing? You know what I mean? So it's very much the idea that, these guys have got to figure out a way to make it work for them. And I think again, we're gonna be in for some seriously interesting times. Now, I wanted to take a look here. You need to talk more about regulations and control rather than just glazing Gen AI. What do you want me to say? They gotta fucking do it. Okay. Let's watch some cool shit. I'm going to spend fucking 3 hours going over like the regulatory processes of the whole legislation. No one gives a shit, Jess. I'm sorry. Like, no one cares. My opinion is legislate it. In the meantime, let me see what can be done with it. That's where I'm at with it. That's what I find to be the most interesting. Otherwise, nothing else is happening in Hollywood that's even remotely interesting. Like, nothing. You know what I'm saying? It's like, never mind. I kind of agree with John about, like, again, other countries aren't going to give a shit as much. All right. Like, they want to devalue our entertainment industry because it dominates so much. That is true. And these companies, we need to find a way to work with these studios and these unions and everything else in order to bring costs of these movies down. And I will say this, though, if Brad Pitt can't get fucking $25 million to be in a movie, I don't really feel that bad. I don't really feel that bad anymore. I'm sorry, maybe I should, but I don't. I don't think these actors commanding, like tens of millions of dollars for a movie is something I should give much of a shit about. I care more about the movie being good, less than who the fuck is in it. But I will always be curious about what the technology can bring and who can work within that technology and show us interesting shit. But I will, again, I can only make my point, reiterate my point so many fucking times. So, to be honest, the older actors are asking too much. Well, the older actors, to be fair, And just to kind of be as a counter to what you're saying, the older actors in many ways, you know, are like, they've been around, they've kind of like paid their dues, right? That's kind of what they tell you about Hollywood, right? You go to Hollywood, you pay your dues, you eventually make it. And when you eventually make it, you know, then it's like stuff opens up for you and shit. It's such a rarity that new people get in the gate. It's not that these older actors, I mean, they are commanding a lot, but they also do have the ability to kind of demand that in some ways, because people will be like, oh, a new Brad Pitt movie, I at least know what I'm generally going to get. You know what I mean? And so it's not that there's a lot of stuff nowadays with like actors having that command, but there are some still that would be able to do that. Obviously Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt, I think George Clooney, perhaps, depending on the movie, you know, Morgan Freeman, fucking Gerard Butler. I mean, like, there are people out there. I mean, Jason Statham just does like one straight action movie a year, right? That comes out and then goes immediately to Amazon and does gangbusters on Amazon, you know, 70 some million views on there and shit, right? Like, these people know the business. They know where the money is coming from. This is just the next evolutionary phase of that shit. Let's see, Spherical Man here says, my view on AI in Hollywood is it's being treated how CG or computer animation was treated when they first started being used for animation. Animators were threatened by it so much that they thought that they'd be out of jobs. You know, there's a great line going back. I think this was like Phil Tippett back when they were getting ready to do Jurassic Park. And some of the guys at ILM had made, I'm paraphrasing the story, but it was memed actually in Jurassic Park. So, because, you know, Phil Tippett was going to do stop motion for the dinosaurs. And then some of the guys at ILM had created like a skeleton frame of a T-Rex. And Kathy Kennedy, again, according to the story, Kathy Kennedy knew about that. She was an associate producer, right? But she saw the technology. She saw what it could do. And she had the video of the skeletonized T-Rex playing like in the hallways of ILM. And so people like Spielberg, you know, could see it, right? And so they saw it, and that's what got their attention to go, wait, can we actually pull this off? And when they brought in Phil Tippett to show him, according to Spielberg, the first words out of his mouth were like, you know, I've gone extinct or something, whatever that line is, and that they put the line in the movie when Grant sees the dinosaurs for the first time. You know, like that line was actually something that was directly referencing a stop motion animator, right? A very well known, very well loved, very well respected stop motion animator who is now seeing the technology advancing and going like, well, fuck me in the goat ass sort of thing. If AI wasn't available, how can you fix Hollywood budgets? That's actually an interesting question. How do you fix Hollywood budgets? In many ways, it is, you know, like, well, I don't know that you can, if I'm being honest. And the reason why I say that is because actors want to get paid, writers, directors, producers, they all want to get paid. Nowadays, I think because of the Netflix model, they want to get paid up front. They want to get like, you know, and so these companies, we watched this video the other night from Morning Brew about that, where these companies, you know, like they find a way to basically put their movie in the red, so it doesn't look like it's been profitable, so they don't have to pay out those residuals. And they do this by a lot of nefarious tactics, so they can write down their earnings and, you know, losses that they've already spent money on and shit, right? We know about this from like Superman Returns, where the budget ballooned because they put all of the money spent for, you know, the developing the Superman movies before that. I think even going back to the Tim Burton Superman movie from the 90s and the J.J. Abrams written one, Superman Flyby, they put that in, they folded that in to the budget of Superman Returns so they could therefore write that off. So Hollywood accounting is so terrible. It feels so illegal, you know, because we know about it. Right? It feels illegal that they end up being in a situation where I don't think there's a way to actually do it. because whatever losses a movie has end up just getting kicked down the road, right? They just get folded into the next fucking movie. You know, so how many times when you hear a movie has a budget of $200 million, is that budget actually the movie itself, or is it failed projects that the studio spent money developing that get folded into that price tag so they can write it off at the end of the year? Right. And so that ends up being the bigger factor. And then Hollywood loves to do this, where if they put out a movie, whether it's good, bad, or the other, it doesn't necessarily matter. But if it's good, bad, or the other, and then they put it out and it fails, what do you hear? Well, the audience just didn't show up. Right. They put the blame on you. They put the blame on you, the consumer, for not showing up week to week. While these budgets increase, they balloon, the stories themselves just get recycled. And we have a commodification of an entertainment industry that is now being outpaced by its online compatriots through the streaming wars than literally anything else. And so as a result, the quality begins to dip more often than not. So I would say the best way to fix it is to start seeking out films that are independently produced and then get bought by the studio for distribution, or looking at ways like stuff like Iron Lung, a less than $3 million movie that's grossed about $40 million domestic, right? It's getting good and bad reviews, but my whole point though is that it's outside of the system. And that becomes a bigger problem. These budgets shouldn't be that high. When you've got franchise movies and these actors demand these paydays, and you know that by putting the actors on the poster, putting the actors in the movie, it might have a shot of bringing people in. That's why those budgets get to be so high. That's why those actors can command that kind of cash. And streaming does this all the time. They pay for everything up front. You know, that's why the budgets for some of these movies are so high. They pay for everything up front. So, some motherfuckers need to be humble with independent film and AI. Well, you'd like to think so. But like I said, there are people out there who have paid they're in the process, I would say, of paying their dues within the system. And the fact that the system itself is rapidly changing. Rapidly changing before they're able to get there is starting to scare them. And that's why I keep telling you this, and that's why I've been saying this for the longest fucking time, is that it is in their best interest to take the skills that they have and to put those skills to work for them. Get ahead of where things are, right? Don't chase the puck. Anticipate where the puck is going to be. And then see what happens. You know what I mean? Right? Like, that's what you have to do. That is exactly what you have to fucking do. And unfortunately, like I've said, so many people out there would rather just be the dog on the nail and would rather just cry and complain and bitch and moan and weep and holler and do everything that they can outside of actually trying to, accomplish their goals. Right? Right? You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like, I've always wanted to be a storyteller. So I have, I've been doing the short stories, right? And so those have been coming out, last month, a number of them popped up on the YouTube channel, and I'm just now starting to publish them over on Amazon KDP under my pen name. I'm not trying to promote it through this or promote it through other stuff. I'm just trying to see if it can naturally do what I think it can do, So I'm paying my dues that way, rather than trying to spam you guys with links to go check out my shit. I mean, I don't want to do that anyway, because a vast majority of you would say yes, but then not actually do it. And that's nothing. It's one of those things where it's kind of like not everybody wants to listen to an audiobook, so I totally understand. But I think what we can find is that things will gradually change. And I hope we get there sooner rather than later. But I do need to use the restroom. So I'm going to end it tonight with this clip that Command you did send me. I don't know what the fuck this is. So let's see.
这下午交给我们3天搞定。
我1天完成。就是这家伙要和我们抢夺项目吗？人类效率太低了，还是把活给我吧。
你们抢活干什么？那咱们比试比试。
看没看过我爱发明？人类必败。
变身。白面书生小青龙，黑面上，我们上。
让我来试试手吧。看见，我等鲤鱼展开，构手之中。剑招七变，骑士自明。尝尝这个。萝卜。行动！燃烧现在！让我来会会他。Imperial Reveal Havana Kedavra！ 根本不痛不痒啊！雷を吹き霹靂一閃神作！电量1充满，电量400%，人类，我将进军。太弱小了，没有力量。
咱们工人有力量。
奶奶别怕，我来助你。
好姑娘，让我把奶奶之地传给你。
What the fuck is this?
破灭的黄昏。我祝你奶道成功，地奶平川，万奶奔腾。吃你奶奶一脚！饿就吃饭。是你们逼我的。网络信息吸收完毕，已完成日系迭代升级。我现在什么都不知道。老东西，人还是太好用的了。哎，我有一个主意。
你们愿意和我当一辈子的工友吗？
我们愿意。低效过时，因为人类就该被淘汰。
我们上！
领空之手，当断子弹，歼灭坐标，全线击，直面绝望吧！烧尽，焚毁，斩断。
痛みを感じろ。痛みを考えろ。神羅転生。
投降！哈哈，我们赢了，这个项目该交给我们了。走，我们吃饭去。
耶！管理。
What the fuck was that? Is this a mixture of AI and live action? Because like some of that stuff seemed like could have been live action, but at the same time, what the fuck? This is too anime, even for you, Jess. Even for you. Yeah, I agree, Fourth. What the fuck? All right. I got no fucking idea. But all right, folks. Yeah, it's like 30 degrees outside. My room is cold as shit. I'm going to go use the restroom and get warm, and then also put together my new computer. So tomorrow night should be up on that motherfucker. And I appreciate you guys tonight. Thank you so much for the supers and for hanging out. I do appreciate that. We'll look again. Final question of the night. Leave it in the comment section below, not the video comment section. Am I talking about AI too much? Should we do a trailer park? That's going to be a key. All right, everybody. Have yourself a great evening. Talk to you all tomorrow. Peace the fuck out. Love you lots.